Hey everybody, I didn't feel like going on camera today, I didn't feel like showing off the goods, so I thought I would just let you guys enjoy some serene mountain photography. I thought maybe you would enjoy that with this video. So obviously Mr. Beast is in some trouble right now. There was recently a pretty viral video that came out that made some pretty big allegations against the Beast. Some of the allegations coming out I think are very reasonable, and some I think are less reasonable, right? Like, I think it makes sense to be mad at him for manipulating children with bullshit giveaways. I've always thought that was skeevy. I also think it seems like the way he treated people on his Prime TV show was pretty bad. I think that's a really good reason to criticize him. On the other hand, I'm not sure that the viral video in question really proved out that he was quote unquote faking his videos and that, everything that happened on them was bullshit. Like, of course, there's some artifice to the videos. I don't think anybody could deny that, but it seems to me still more likely than not that most of what you see in a Beast video is pretty real, that there's a lot of reality to it, as much reality to it as there would be on most reality shows. Anyway, we're not here today to talk about Beast drama. No, I want to talk about what I take to be arguably a low point in Mr. Beast's career, and that is his most recent video.
I just built this bunker, and these two people who have never met each other are going to attempt to live down here for the next 100 days.
So as I just showed, the video is about putting two strangers in a bunker for 100 days and letting them figure it out. The video isn't about big challenges or tests of endurance. It's really about just leaving people in a room and watching them stew. The thing that makes this video special, though, the thing that kind of sets it apart from other videos that he's made, is that it's centering on a negative emotion. It wants to be about how these two people don't like each other and how they have a hard time getting used to each other, right?
You're so stupid.
You're a monster. I don't like you, dude.
So on first pass, I think that's a fine idea, but here's the problem. Creating a story about two people who don't like each other, who have a troubling relationship, who have, maybe issues they need to work out with each other, it actually requires that the story, the film, be interested in the people involved, why they're having problems, what they're upset about. And being interested in people, focusing on them, is something that Mr. Beast is fundamentally incapable of doing. Mr. Beast doesn't like lingering on people. He doesn't really like telling a story. He likes showing high viscera images and putting them next to other high viscera images so that his watch time on YouTube will be really high. And the effect of all this is a video that A, is really disorienting, and B, doesn't feel like it makes any sense. So okay, Mr. Beast wants to convey that these two people have conflict, but he doesn't really want to tell us what they're conflicting about or what the problem they're having is. Like, the video wants to convey that Hugo, the guy, is mad because he has to do all the chores, and Rain, the woman, isn't doing none of them. But the guy never actually says any of that. Hugo it expresses that very briefly, like right at the end of the video. He's never talking about it. So Mr. Beast just has to come in and tell us, oh yeah, he's mad about this.
But it wasn't enough, because Hugo was still frustrated that he was doing most of the chores, such as feeding the fish and cleaning their tanks.
This is gross.
Oh my god.
And maintaining the garden so they never ran out of fresh vegetables.
Yeah, good job, good job. What would I do without Hugo?
How do you know, Mr. Beast? I'm not, as an audience member, gonna connect to this conflict if you're literally just informing me that it exists. How do I know you're not lying to me? You know what I mean? This guy cooks breakfast and tends to the garden, and he's mad about it. Like, that's not a compelling way to tell the story. That's just bad writing, Beast. Or later on, the two are sitting at a table and having what seems like a conflict-ridden conversation. But, let me just show it to you.
Hugo, what's your deal?
You are a little weird.
It was just a little too basic for my liking.
I'm so okay with being basic.
I don't like being basic.
Okay, but that's obnoxious.
You're so stupid.
What did he just say?
Dude, don't yell at me like that.
That is insane. I don't know if they're making it.
What are they upset about, Mr. Beast? What's bothering them? Why aren't you showing me the situation under which this conversation occurred? Because it seems to me kind of like they were just teasing each other. I have literally no idea what they're talking about or why you're reacting the way you are. Why aren't you giving the audience the information necessary to understand the characters in your story, Beast? It pisses me off. Like, if you want to just have big, flashy scenes, why not give people a challenge or a fun game to play? Why are you putting people in a room, giving them conditions for them to have conflict with each other and then being completely bored by that fucking conflict? It sucks. Adding to this sense of disorientation, too, is just the really weird and horrible editing on the video. Characters are constantly being, like, ADR'd, like, dubbed over.
Pretty obvious. Feastables.
She's right. This is great.
Oh my god.
Feastables is so good.
So you can't ever know exactly what they're saying. And oftentimes when they're talking to each other, you can tell that it's just various splices and that they're never actually communicating like they would in real life. Like, there's no sense of groundedness to any moment between these two. And the video's all about them. Why is it like that?
Nah, you got this.
Thanks, Rain.
I'm gonna do cartwheels. What we should be doing is preparing for day 90.
Why are you splicing over a different context in which she said what we should be doing is preparing for day 90 over a point where she's obviously not saying that? What's the use of it? It just feels bad. Anyway, in conclusion, leaving all beast drama aside, if he wants to tell more narrative stories, if he wants to go down this intense melodrama reality TV route, he should learn from the masters, He should be watching episodes of Survivor and The Bachelor and seeing how they construct narrative and build stories that aren't real but feel real, because it's clumsy, it's not good storytelling, and I think he can do better, If he's not canceled, I hope to see some improvements in the future. Thank you.